Hello, hello. So today I am doing custom ornaments, and I thought, well, hey, why not do a video and share with all of you how I make my little marble custom name ornaments. They are super duper easy, so let's get started on what you need. So for this project, you're going to need to pick out your tile. Now I chose these, and these are an actual marble, so these are pretty thick. I'd say about, let's just measure it. They are about a quarter inch thick, and they are pretty heavy, so you do have to make sure that when you glue your ribbon on, it is really, really secure. The other thing that I want to tell you right now before I forget is when you are gluing these, you need to use the really hot glue, not low, not medium. There are different temperatures of hot glue. So the ones at Dollar Tree, once in a while, you'll get a really good gun that is really, really hot. So just make sure, because even with the hot glue, these dry extremely fast. So I was having to re-glue them thinking that I was all finished. And this part here that hangs has to be really sturdy so that it doesn't fall, okay? So the other thing that you're going to need is, of course, ribbon. And what I did for these, I cut them all the same length. So I'll tell you the length that I cut them just in case you want to do the same thing I have, 6 inches. So these on here for it to hang, which I think is perfect, because if you do it too long, it's going to drag the tree limb down. Or you can actually make these and put them on someone's package. So that would be really, really cute for their gift or their gift bag. So that's something else that you want to consider. Then you're going to need, of course, a hot glue gun. You are going to need a package of bows, but to finish this one off, we are going to use the bows from Dollar Tree because I have red and green. So I had done half in red and half in green. So that's something else that you want to do. This I got from Dollar Tree. I've been having a hard time finding it, but then the other day I found it. It was in a box like with a pop-up lid, and these were in there. So this is what I'm using, but you can choose something else. If you want to use just regular garland to wrap it, that would be really pretty too. So I'll show you how I'm doing these. And of course, you're going to need your names. Now, I use my silhouette. This is vinyl shiny. It is 551. There's different numbers for vinyl. These work really, really great. I also purchased this, which is an eraser from Dollar Tree. When I am doing heat vinyl with my heat press, before I peel it, I take this and I rub it over my t-shirt or my bag or whatever, just to make sure that all that vinyl is stuck. And then I'll show you how I use it on this to make sure that before I peel my clear, that they are on there, so that I know that when I go to lift it, my name is going to be on there. You're also going to need some scissors, and I think that's it. So let's get started on these. So the first thing that you want to do is always, no matter what kind of surface you're working on, you want to clean your tile with some rubbing alcohol. This will take off any residue, any kind of fingerprints. So you always want to clean these up. And you always want to do the back side because they usually have like an adhesive on the back. So we're just going to clean it up on both sides. So that is completely done. And when I measured out my garland from here, I just take the piece and I just wrap it around until I think I have enough to go around it. And you might need some wire cutters to cut this unless you have those kitchen shears that I always talk about. So I'll tell you how long this is, because what I did was I cut one and then I just made them all. So they're 3 inches. So this is 3 inches long to wrap around when we get to that part. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, this is the eraser from Dollar Tree. And what I do is I take the back side. So usually you would take a credit card, but this is a hard plastic, so it works perfect. And you're just going to make sure that these are on here really good. So, of course, if you do vinyl, you print out the names, you peel off whatever you have to do to weed. That's what it's called, weeding. And if you don't know what that is and you'd like to learn, then you just go to YouTube, and there's tons of videos that will show you how to do it. So if you don't have a silhouette where you can't put the names on, they do sell those pens, especially around the holidays. They might be like a glitter red or a glitter black or silver, and you can actually just write your names on there. What I would do is write my name on there first, and then I would let it dry, and then I would do the rest. So that's something that you can think about as well. So now, all I have to do is peel off, okay, so it's clear, And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up with the center. Make sure it's on where you want it because sometimes it'll start to stick. So we got it on. And now we're just going to take the back of our eraser. And I love it because this side is soft and your fingers don't hurt. And I just like it. I think it's a great idea. Okay, so you want to make sure it's on there before you start to peel it. Okay, so now I lifted the corner and we look like we're pretty doggone good. I noticed my upper part of my D is not, so sometimes if it's not coming up in the right spot the way I want it, I'll start to peel from another area so that I can get it all up, and then I press down when I'm finished. So now we're all done and we have the name on there. They're super quick to make, so you could pump these out in no time. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take our ribbon, we're going to put this on first. And make sure your ribbon is, nice and even on both sides. This was the beginning start of it when I cut it off. And if you're looking for ribbon, these are the ones I have. They're about, 3/16. You can even do a quarter. They come for $1. I think these were at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. So this is don't get the real thin one. That's going to be too much. So I think this is the next size up, and then it goes to 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1 inch. So that's what I'm using. And then all I did was, this is where it dries really fast. So you kind of got to work really, I don't know why on marble it dries so quickly, but it does. So we got to get this on here real fast. Try to press down if you can. And you want to press and hold it. Okay, because I already had one come up. It dries so fast. It's already dry. My fingers didn't even burn putting that together. So I'm not sure why it dries so quickly on these. Okay, so that's all done. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue here. And see how this is standing on end? Don't put this you want this to be sideways. If you put it up, it's going to be straight up in the air, but if you put it sideways, then it's going to be perfect when you wrap it around, and then you can just trim it up. So now that I have it halfway around, I'm going to add my glue here, and you're not even going to see it because you're going to take this side, and again, these are 3 inches, and you're going to bend it. So this wire is nice to work with, and all we're doing is we're securing that into place. Okay, so it kind of looks like it's all over the place, but what we're going to do is we're going to trim it up and give it a little haircut. Okay, so now the other thing that you want to do is if you have a few little bald spots, what you can do is, all you have to do is put a little bit of hot glue where your little bald spot is. Wait a second. Try and get it underneath where the bald spot is, and then all you have to do is take your little garland and press it down. Okay, so now it looks like we have little bangs. And then all we have to do is take a pair of scissors. And I like these. These are actually scissors for hair cutting, but the reason I like them is because they have craft scissors like these too, but I like this thin point for me to easily cut and get into it because other scissors are too big. And then we're going to trim these up like we're giving it a haircut. That's all you got to do. Just trim it up so that it's the length that you want it, so that the name shows. Okay, so we'll do one more together so you can see exactly what I mean. And now all we're doing is just trimming this to where we want it. If you want them to stay a little crazy like that, you can. And remember, if you use garland, then you won't have to do this. But because this is kind of all over the place, and then you don't really have to worry about the back side because, of course, it's going to be hanging on a tree. But if you wanted to, you can also, again, move it over a little bit and make sure that your back is fully covered, just so that it looks like it's finished. So we'll just add a dab of glue here and press down. And I know some people will always say, well, if you can do it this way or you can do it this way. So you can read some of the comments because sometimes people do have good ideas. But I always say, do what's best for you. I do what's best for me. It depends. Sometimes I change things up. If I'm selling them or I'm making it as a gift, I'll do something a little more detailed. If I'm just making it to make it for myself, then I just kind of go with the flow of things. So check the comments because sometimes people have good ideas. So there, we're almost done. And all we have left to do is our bow. And as I said, we are doing our Dollar Tree bows. Now, I had 9 of these to make. So what you want to do is when you pull it off of here, this is twined together to keep your bow together. So before you cut it, twine it really, really good so that your bow is nice and tight. And if you decide that you want to take this and wrap it around, you could do that like this. I just didn't want this silver showing. So what I did was I cut these off. And now I'm just going to add my hot glue to the back. And I try to go as high to the point I can on the ornament so that it doesn't cover my name. Okay, so just like that. And they do sell like little miniature, at Hobby Lobby I've seen them. They sell like miniature candy canes. They have all kinds of little miniature things, so you can even add like a little candy cane on there if you wanted. So look, we are already done with one. All right, and it's just a cute little ornament. You, like I said, you can put them on packages, you can put them on the tree, you can put them on their gift. So I thought these were really, really cute. Cute for a workstation, so if you work at a hospital or something and you want to decorate the tree. So again, we're going to do the same thing. We clean this off, and we have our last name to do. And I'm taking my little eraser, and I'm pressing really hard to make sure I got all the name up. And then we're just peeling it off. So it's really quick and easy. And, you know, they do sell like the Silhouette clear paper. I use clear contact paper. It's a lot cheaper. Sometimes these companies get you on things, and some people are like, no, this is what I have to use. No, you don't have to. It's much cheaper to buy a roll of clear contact paper and go from there. So now you got to make sure that nothing's sticking to your back so that it comes on here right. Some of this is sticking because of this little hair cutting thing we're doing. So just make sure that you have nothing stuck on there. It won't matter. It won't stick. So now we're just lining it up where we want it. Okay? And we're just pressing this down. Again, we're just using the back side of our eraser. And sometimes when you use a credit card, I mean, your fingers start to hurt you after a while. But this is perfect because of this soft cushion on this side. Okay, so now we're lifting up to make sure. Okay, all done. See, so nothing stuck. I just wanted to make sure nothing was underneath the vinyl so that it didn't stick underneath there when I was done, because I didn't want to have to lift it up. Okay, so now I have my last little piece all ready to go, and I am putting my glue at the very tip here. You can see the very tip, the top right here. Again, oops, I just remembered. This is drying quickly too. I need one more piece of ribbon. Thought I had them all cut. Oh, I do. Right here. So since this is, it's dry already. See what I mean? I mean, it dries that fast, and I have an extremely hot glue gun. So I'm shocked that it's drying so fast. So it must have something to do with the marble. Okay, so now we're going to put the sides on first. You can do whatever you want. I don't know why. I prefer doing the sides and getting it done. It would be hard to get through the greenery if you do this last. So I would do it first before you put on your garland, your tinsel, or anything, because it's almost wrapping around this. And then you go to the other side, line it up, and then you just press both sides, make sure it's glued nice and tight. I think it makes a nice way to hang it. Okay, so we got that done. Now we're going to put on, and we're putting the glue right at the tip here, right at the very top. Can you see? Right here. And we are holding it so that it's outward. We can trim it up. And now we're going to go to the back side, and we're going to add our glue. Okay. And you want to press down. Again, if you don't have enough here where you feel like you want to add a little bit more, just push it where you want it. Add a little bit of glue on the back side. Not a lot. Just kind of like drag your gun so that a lot of glue doesn't come out, because you don't need a lot there. You just need enough to give yourself that bang that you want in order to trim it up, because your bow is going to take over it as well. Okay. And again, if you want to purchase these tiles, they are sold in a set of 6 and a set of 12. And I am going to, this week, put on a custom order. So if you wanted to order your names and Remember, these are marble. They're not ceramic tile. They're going to be a little more expensive. So that's something to consider. If you want to go and on the search and try to find them yourself. I was surprised the other day because we did tile the other day. And I did these. And I thought they were $1 a piece. And they winded up being 65 cents. I was surprised. So you kind of look around. So now all we need is our last little bow. Again, these are from Dollar Tree. We're going to twist this on. So you can easily make 9 or 10 in an hour. Just got to get a rhythm going. Okay, so we're going to put our glue real good on the back to make sure they stick. Put it as high as the top as you can so that it's not covering your name. And what I wanted to tell you is if you wind up cutting your vinyl, the width and the height of the name is 1 inch, and then of course you have to go according to how big your ornament is. So I went to 290, so almost 3 inches. So it's right under there, and you have to adjust the size, according to the name. Okay, so for instance, you'll see Stephanie is a little bit smaller in lettering. It's not that noticeable. But you can see his A is a little bit bigger, so you kind of got to shrink down the letters in order to get them on here evenly. Okay, so that is how you do custom ornaments. I will not be selling the vinyl names because it's very time consuming, and what am I going to charge? 50 cents? It would take me all day. So I really can't do that for anybody. So my best suggestion would be to try those pens if you have a nice handwriting and if you know somebody. Or I know that on Etsy, some people will sell you a sheet of names. That's what they do all day long. Unfortunately for me, I don't have the time to do that, but I most certainly love sharing my videos with all of you. And again, if you would like to purchase the tiles, the link is below in my Etsy store. And I will see all of you on the next one. Bye now.